Welcome to Women Don't Do That, where we empower you with inspiration, knowledge, and skills to redefine your boundaries and unleash your potential. I'm Stephanie Minton, founder and CEO of Beacon North Strategies and your guide. Small town girl turned CEO while navigating career, motherhood, ADHD, and chronic migraines. Our conversations range from interviews with visionary women to solo episodes filled with actionable insights. We are your hub for turning what ifs into let's go. Are you ready to redefine your possible? Let's get started. Welcome back to the Women Don't Do That podcast. I can't believe that it is already the fall and we are hitting the ground running, as is life. I am so glad to be back. I hope that you really enjoyed the summer vault episodes that we shared. If you haven't taken a listen while I was on break for the summer, we pulled out a bunch of episodes for the vault because we've been doing this now for a couple years and have quite a bit of back catalog, which we're obviously very excited to share with you. I can't believe that the fall is here already. I feel like everybody that I speak to is just can't believe how fast the summer has gone. It's really been a busy, fun, and crazy time. And I feel like as I get older and my kids get older, it just goes faster and faster. I'm so excited to share with you more today, a little bit about my summer, about the fall, about what to expect for the podcast over the fall and what we have lined up. So I'm so glad that you are here. I have a confession to make. And if you are a longtime listener and have been listening since earlier in the summer, you will know that I talked in one of the episodes about all the different books I was going to read over the summer. And I have to confess that I did not read all of them. And I was thinking about it the other day, like, why didn't I read them? What was I doing? And I couldn't even think of a reason. And at first I felt bad about it. And then I was like, how ridiculous. I still want to read them. I still wish some I had have gone through, but they were a mix of like academic-y things or thought-provoking things I wanted to read and fun books. And I did finish some of the fun books and I read some additional fun books. And so maybe that's just what my spirit and heart needed. Maybe it needed a break from work and it was all about reading some kind of fiction. And I like to read mysteries or crime novels, nothing too graphic and crazy, but that's what I spent my time doing. And so I did read a bit, not a lot, but I really enjoyed what I read. And so if you didn't read all the books you wanted to, or you didn't read any at all, then it's totally fine and you are not alone. So what did I do over the summer? I had some really big milestones happen in my life. I turned 40 over the summer and so did my husband. So there was lots of celebrations and things happening. It was definitely a weird time. It was a time to reflect, especially because I do like to share content as well. And so I was reflecting on, what I might do a podcast about or what I might share in a blog post about it and what really were my reflections and how was I feeling about it. And I think that made me reflect on it even more. And one of my friends gave me some really good advice and just said, it's really just another day. It's just another day in your life. Like you wake up, no lightning bolt goes off and things all of a sudden change. And that was true, very true. Although I feel like in some ways, because society makes this big day, you feel like it should. Like you feel like it's going to be this big deal and that it should be. And it really isn't that big of a deal, is what I've learned. And it's that hype around, I don't know if it's like the Hallmark holiday or like something that makes you feel like you should be reflecting and thinking all these big things and having these big feelings. And so I thought that was really important to share. And it did have me reflecting on some things, of course, as I mentioned, but it's not like the world changed and everything went upside down. And I'm excited. Our next podcast episode that I'm going to share with you is actually about some of those reflections. And so you'll have to listen back to see what some of my advice and thoughts have been. And there will be some blogs and stuff coming out about that as well. My husband And I also celebrated our 15-year wedding anniversary. We have been pretty diligent that every 5 years we have done a big anniversary slash birthday trip. The first year, which would have been our 5 year, we went to Vegas. Our 10 year, we did the Ice Hotel in Quebec City. If you're longtime listeners, you will remember I was quite ill at that time in my life. We had thought about going abroad, but it was actually the very beginning of COVID, just before everything shut down. But also, I was really ill and quite sick at the time and was advised not to leave the country. And so, although the Ice Hotel at Quebec City was not maybe my first choice, it really was a lovely and fun thing to do and a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so I really wanted to go to Europe this year. I've never been to Europe. And so we went to Italy, to Rome, and to Venice. I talk a little bit about some of that, I believe, on my Instagram if you want to see some of those pictures. And we did have a good time. It was off to a rocky start with some issues with the plane, and we lost a day. And it was definitely too hot. We missed out on some things because of the weather for us. But I mean, you can't complain. It's fantastic. And Venice is just unlike anything I've ever seen. It's like a storybook and a movie, and it looks unreal, and yet you're standing there. And I was reflecting today about, what's one of the most standout things about your summer? And I think it would be that quintessential ride on a gondola with my husband at dusk in Italy. It was just beautiful and everything you could imagine it was, and expensive, but worth the money for me. I have had a busy August. I also flew to BC to the University of Northern British Columbia, UNBC, which is a client of mine at Bacon North Strategies, which is in Prince George, BC, and which is British Columbia. And it was gorgeous. We had such a great time. We did strategic planning for work, but also visited the campus and learned about their expertise. And it was just really good to get boots on the ground in the work that I do. People usually come to Ottawa to see me, so I actually don't get to see those kinds of places. And it really was a fantastic time to be there. And we also had some crazy flights there. I left Prince George, BC on a Friday morning and didn't hit my head on my home pillow until like 1 p.m. the following day. So it's been a little bit crazy with flights and airports, which is something I'm not used to. So for you that travel for work, I have a new appreciation for that. I had lots of time with kids. Of course, there was work and just other fun activities like spending time boating and swimming and doing summer things and making memories. You might remember, I think in one of the other episodes, I shared that I was going to try to take more time off here and there throughout the summer. Something that, as a small business owner, it's really hard to take time off. And because I took that time off for Italy, it was really challenging for me to take any other time off. So I took my birthday off. I took just other chunks of time here and there, and that worked really well for me in terms of that work-life balance. And so I will be looking to do something similar next year because it's so important to try and recharge our batteries. We also have really busy family and like birthday seasons over July and August. And so that's made things really busy because between all the travel and stuff, I've had like one or two birthdays every weekend that I'm planning lately. And just with it being my husband and my birthday too, plan something for him back home, but then in Ottawa. So it's just been really busy, but all doing fun and good things too. The good kind of great memory making busy. This fall, I can't believe it's fall already that the kids are back in school. I personally love the fall routine that comes with just more consistency around schedules and work and school and kids' activities. I also find the weather a little bit better. I have chronic migraines. If you've been a long time listener, many will know. And the spring and summer can be really tough. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that fall weather. My girls, just to give a bit of an update about what's going on with them, I have two kids, both in middle school, and both of them will be at the same school this year. And my oldest is in grade 8 and my youngest is in grade 6. And so that will be fun to see how my youngest adjusts to middle school. And then we'll have activities starting, and I'm trying not to overcommit to things. I really stretched myself last year. I have a busy work life. My kids love to do sports, but my husband also travels for work. And so making a schedule that's sustainable for me while he's traveling is also really important and can be really challenging. So that's something that I'm trying to be more mindful of. And if you remember, I think in the new year, I had shared about my words for the year were embrace and balance. And so some of those thoughts are certainly in line with that. I'm busy with work things on the work side of things. Some of you will know I have 4 different brands. I'm an entrepreneur. I have Beacon North Strategies, which is federal advocacy and like lobbying in Canada. We're a boutique public affairs firm. We do consulting. I also have Beacon North Mentorship Academy, where we do training on things like networking and ChatGPT and AI, and how do you have strategic meetings, and some related to advocacy skills. And we will be doing some more business ones in the future as well. So it's something to keep an eye on. We have Women Don't Do That, which I'm sharing with you now, the podcast and the blog. And I also have an event, and we have some podcast episodes on this too, called Next Gen, which is an annual professional development event for people who work in public affairs. It's national and it's in Ottawa. We did the first one last year. It was fantastic, and we're doing the second one again. And today we just locked down the date. So look for that information coming as well if that's of interest to you. So I have promised myself in my business this year that my goal is going to be to really dig in to those 4 brands and making sure that we're producing the best content, the best advice, and really leaning into doing those well. Many of you will know that I have ADHD and I love to add new things. I've always got ideas. And so my goal this year is sure to have new ideas, but to put them on a piece of paper that I can come back to another day, another year, and really focus on what I've already developed. And so that's going to be a challenge for me. So let's end with a quick update on the podcast. We have some exciting plans. I'm excited for you to hear the first couple episodes, especially we have some of the most interesting high-profile Canadian women coming on, and I can't wait for you to hear their stories and be inspired by them. I also have our next episode, as I mentioned, which is going to be about me turning 40. I also want to end by sharing that we always welcome your input on our guests or themes that you want to hear, things you want us to talk about. Maybe even that guest is you listening. There is a form that always exists on the Women Don't Do That website where you can always submit yourself or someone else or someone you admire that you would love to hear in the podcast, and we will have them on. Or at least consider to have them on and take a look at them. You can also send me DMs on Instagram, either on my personal one or on the Women Don't Do That one as well. We're really happy to make content that you love, hear from people that you find interesting or you want to hear from. I am so thankful that you are here. Some of you have been listening to this podcast and supporting our work for years. And I'm just so thankful that you are here on this journey. I feel like for myself, I've gotten better at doing interviews and sharing this time with you over time. And I am just so thankful for this space. It's been a joy for me. And I just love doing this so much. And I can do that because of people like you and from people who sponsor our Patreon. So thank you so much for listening to us every week. I look forward to spending more time with you this fall on social and on the blog and on the podcast. And I hope you have a great start going on to your fall. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us on Women Don't Do That. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating or review. Connect with us on Instagram at Women Don't Do That and visit our website www.womendon'tdothat.com for more details. Join our Patreon to support our work. Find all of the links in the show notes. Remember, you have the power to transform your what ifs into let's go. Together, let's redefine your possible. Until next time.